I want to talk to you guys about something serious. It's about an endangered species.
Sonic the Hedgehog tried to hurt me last night.
We did not talk about this in the last video, but Ben tried to take out...
We were walking home late last night. How did we not talk about this in yesterday's?
I think because you were too traumatized from the physical pain.
I was.
And the emotional anguish.
You know, anytime you encounter a species which is not, you don't regularly come across, I have this fear in my heart that even if it is not a killer animal, it gonna kill me. And so last night, we're like walking into our Airbnb and Amanda goes, "Do you want the light to get inside the gate?"
It was pitch black. I was using the flashlight on my cell phone. I had just turned it off.
And literally everywhere else around the edge of the house, they have like lights that turn on when you come in.
Motion detector.
But not by the gate. And so I'm like walking up, and I don't need that light, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I like punted what I thought was a rock, but it like punctured me. And I was like, oh my God, is there a 20-pound porcupine in front of me? Is it a snake that just bit my foot? Like, I freaked out a little bit in my head, and I was like, I just kicked something real sharp. And Amanda like turned on her phone light, and there was just this little Sonic the Hedgehog like curled up in the corner, like, why you kick me? I was just having a nap. And I looked down at my foot, and there were like two spines.
Yeah.
Sharp objects sticking out, needles, thank you, sticking out of my foot. So I accidentally kicked a little baby. Wait, it wasn't, I don't know if he was a baby. It looked like a pretty full-grown hedgehog. And our Airbnb owners said they're actually really rare to see them. But they're around, but it's just really rare to see. So our guy was just waiting to get kicked.
Everything we Googled after the fact was that they're pretty harmless and they're really desirable in gardens. And they're not...
And they had a great little backyard, so he's probably there just doing the Lord's work.
And Ben had to go and
I just
for it.
Punted him.
Kicked him real hard.
I said, "Hey, I know you're sleeping." Like right into
Can you imagine if you just rolled up to this place that you knew was plentiful and grubs and worms and peaceful, there were no predators, and you were just curling up for the night, and somebody just kicked you? Kicked you real hard.
This is enough for the beginning of this video, and it was important that we got that in because we missed it yesterday. But this morning, we were like, the reason we started with this was because when we left this morning, we were like, we really hope he's not still there, that I didn't like injure him seriously or something.
They're nocturnal.
Yeah.
So
we came out. Yeah, we came out in the morning. Everything's okay. We let the owner know so he doesn't like go out there barefoot or something, or let other people know that there might be one when they come in. So anyway, all good. This morning we left Hawkinge, took a bus back down to Brew, which we mentioned before. We're gonna mention them again because this morning we didn't just get coffee and tea; we got breakfast, and it was fantastic. Amanda got this gigantic smashed avocado burger type thing, breakfast sandwich, and I got I guess we split it all, but I got like a yogurt and granola and fruit, and it was all just thebomb.com. Just keeping up to date with new trends from 20 years ago. Anyway, it was fantastic. We got to spend a little time there. There are certain types of tickets, and I think I just magicked into these where you can anytime you can take train anytime it's off peak, so non-rush hour. So we got in pretty late last night, and I just was like, what if we could sleep another couple hours? And Amanda was like, I will do that. And then I was like, I'm gonna stay up till 3 watching William Shatner's some weird William Shatner story show, TV show. Anywho, whatever. I was also watching a lot of Oak Island. It was a long night. I don't know what we're talking about. Anyway, hi. So we left Old Hawkinge and went to Brew. We got on the train from, we took 3 trains today. So we went Dover to Ashford International, just like a 15-minute train ride. Ashford to Eastbourne, and then another one to Brighton.
To point out that so far, when we're like a solid 8 days into our trip into the UK, and I understand that like we're kind of a curiosity to anybody who we encounter, and usually it's like 80-year-old men that have been.
Are you gonna talk about that lady this morning?
Luggage up and down, and be like, "Has it been quite a long journey for you?"
Because they're taking the long journey like to the grocery store that morning, and it's a process. So they see our bag, like the lady when we first got on the bus, she was like, "Oh, I just brought my trolley for groceries. You look like you've got a ding 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 ding." And I was like, "Yeah." And then that lady that got on the bus that was like, "I'm gonna tell you all about every dog that I've ever met." And I was just like, I understood exactly 38% of what she said to me.
It's kind of great, and like there's no, because we've also just the places we've been Airbnb-ing, they're relatively smaller towns, and so and also just because of carrying our backpacks and the way that we sound, there's zero anonymity. And it's interesting,
because they know everybody. If they see someone that's us,
yeah.
Even in our little neighborhood where we were staying, everyone was like on the bus stop was like,
"What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
But I sort of love it. It's very sweet, and it's I think about like I've never been on a cruise, but I think about like these really like cultivated sort of experiences that a lot of vacationers try to sell you on, and that the thing that we've been really lucky to encounter anytime we've traveled together is just that it's just really like plugging in with the local population, kind of for better or for worse.
Because your boy be talking to everybody. That's why, or they talk to us.
Yeah, it's true that you've never met a stranger.
Oh
and
no,
I really love that about you.
Oh no. Anyway, on that note, we came to a place where vacations are planned for everybody because this is Brighton, where we are tonight, where I played tonight at a little bar called the Mesmerist. Not that little, I don't know, a normal-sized bar called the Mesmerist. And Brighton is like a vacation destination. It's a little like
beachy.
Yeah, there's a beach. There's a big boardwalk with like a carnival and rides and mini roller coasters, and
we went on 2 today.
We did.
They were so
here's
terrifying.
the thing. The first one we went on is a roller coaster where you're like in a little thing that spins around as you go on the coaster, and it goes out over the water. And I've been on a lot of roller coasters. I love it. It's great. But you're like over the ocean at the end of a pier. And you know, like when you go to U.S. theme parks and everything kind of looks clean, like it's been, cared for. This was a little bit more like the county fair.
Carny. Questionable. The thing, as we like started like buckle in, I was having like the stress of it being sort of like, not inspected. And I was thinking...
remember when I lifted the thing up and there was like all this give?
But I was thinking to myself as we were just kind of like riding up the incline, if we die on this ride, I'm like, dying is the person I love doing something that I love.
Uh-huh.
And like, hopefully it will be relatively instantaneous. But B, if we do...
That was A.
If we do crash... I would rather crash into the ocean than straight into concrete.
We didn't even say that to each other, but I thought the exact same thing. As we took that first turn and all there was the ocean in front of us, I was like,
if
probably better if I hit the water.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think either one would feel great.
So terrible.
But in terms of survival, I think if we fell into the ocean,
as long as you weren't strapped into that thing,
careening off of a homemade roller coaster called Crazy Mouse.
We went down sitting trapped inside a mouse-shaped roller coaster ride.
When they recover our bodies, they find us inside of a mouse-shaped.
Oh my God! Our parents are they're going to be very distraught with this conversation. We're fine. Everything's fine.
My parents will laugh.
Oh my
They'll
God!
be all right.
Oh my God! They would actually be like, "Oh, mouse." Anyway.
So we rode 2 roller coasters.
Yes.
Obviously,
we also played coin pusher games, which is like
whack-a-mole.
Unfortunately, my weakness. We won stuff in the coin pusher games.
You were leaning so much
on you. Oh, sorry. We won in the coin push. Anyway, we won like these 2 little keychains that we're gonna give to our nephews when we get home. That we're gonna give to anyone but our nephews when we get home. I just forget about all that. We also like when we go places, we collect magnets and put on the fridge. So we didn't win, we earned. Good call. Yeah, I know you telepathically told me that, but we earned a magnet. It's very cute. Anyway, we did all the carnival stuff. We even got like we won tickets, and the very last thing we got was like gummy weirdness.
Yeah, a little mixed bag of Haribo goodness.
Yeah, there were gummy bears, but they weren't bears. They were like Coke bottles. One was a little egg. One was a heart. It was like random shapes.
They were great.
They were fine. That was dinner. That was amuse-bouche. Anyway, we did that. It was beautiful. It was like right at magic hour. The sun was setting. It was like
temperature was perfect.
On the beach.
It's
basically Brighton is like straight south of London. So the royal family are supposed to like come vacation here, and it's like about maybe a couple hours or so, hour and a half south of London. So it's not like crazy far.
We passed so many sunburnt red-headed people. I mean, and not even like a little.
Not
the way
sunburnt.
I mean, like you look sun-kissed, but like they were so lobster red. Robster led. Which is the name of our band. No, they were
these
like,
poor folks.
It just hurt to look at them. Not that they were ugly, but just like you have to know their skin was sizzling. Anyway.
It was rough. Anyway, it was very fun, and it was the one. Oh, and we saw the palace. Oh, what's it called?
The gardens.
Yeah, there's like a designer that came and brought Indian influence over, and so there's like a royal palace. I think it's called Royal Palace Gardens something, but it's all Indian anyway, gardens. Sorry that we flubbed it up, folks that are from here, but we got to see it and walk around for a little bit. That was really neat. There's also a museum. That we decided that this is a place, even though it was like it's a Wednesday and it was hopping, that we'll probably need to come back and spend at least another day or so, because it was very fun, and like it's always fun to be in a city. It's like lively and there's a lot to do, and we on our way home tonight we walked through it reminded me a lot of Brussels actually. Remember when we walked home, we kind of went like through these back little alleys, and that we kind of walked through all this part of Brighton that was very much like that, when normally GPS will be like, why'd you go that way? So that was also cool. So anyway, the Mesmerist, really really nice show. They actually had some gear there for me, which was nice. We still wheeled all my stuff over, but that's okay.
Yeah, that
it took
great.
A while for me to figure out. One of the speakers didn't work, but we figured it out with a couple minutes late, but not too bad. But there was like a good crew. All the tables around, they just had like a raised little area. Normally they have DJ nights and stuff. I was just DJ Benny Boo Boo tonight, which is just Benny Bassett, and everyone was into it. We had played some Elton John, so folks were singing along to that. Folks were singing along to a few of the other selections of the evening. Amanda killed. We've been covering on this tour Crowded House, Don't Dream It's Over, and had folks singing along to that, which is really
feels good when people sing along to that.
Yeah, and so yeah, overall really good day, really good night, and they took care of us. We got to go in a photo booth, which you don't always see over. This is the first one I've seen over here.
Oh, that makes me want to talk about the origin of the term mesmerize, because.
All right, have a good night, guys. See you later. Go ahead.
We always talk about being mesmerized, like being hypnotized or amazed or whatever, but it's actually named after. It's a term that comes from a man named Franz Mesmer.
Was that him on the logo?
I don't know if it was.
Okay.
I wouldn't recognize him if I saw him, but he was sort of like a forefather of modern day hypnotism. His method became sort of popularized in the mid 1700s, and he kind of coined the term animal magnetism. He believed did a lot of, everybody in the Enlightenment, there was a huge mixed bag of biology and study of gravity or physics. It was all just sort of like shared interests. So it's interesting because his practices mostly became applied in psychology, even though his research was in magnetism and physics. But he believed in like the magnetic force surround, like basically your aura, and like how magnets could influence it. And so he would like invite people into his parlor and hypnotize them or mesmerize them. And a lot of folks, including Freud, would like debunk his practices, but also sort of admit there was something to it.
Sigmund Freud,
Dude.
Did you know that in Chicago they would beg to differ with you, and they would say mesmerization came from Wayne Mesmer, who played the organ for the Chicago Blackhawks for many, many years. I'm just saying. There are some people that might beg to differ with your historical viewpoints.
I think that's just you.
I really hope it's Wayne.
Anyway, that's your insight into the term mesmerized. So anytime you say that you're mesmerized by something, you're referring to Franz Mesmer and
What about Hans Mesmer?
Franz and Hans.
Hans and Franz Mesmer. We are here to pump you up.
We're here to hypnotize.
We are here to hypnotize. Ding, 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 ding. I think that's probably time we should go.
Okay.
Anyway, tomorrow? Where are you going tomorrow?
Probably wherever you're going.
Oh, good call, good call. Bristol tomorrow. It's a city that last time we were here, we had the craziest morning mad dash to the airport. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow when we recap the video. So you might want to stick around for a tale about oddly dressed rugby players and a weird flight to Amsterdam. That's called a tease.
Good night.
Never forget Wayne Mesmer. See you guys. Good night.